Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Base 1. So it's been a hot second since I played this. We were playing with a pre-release build. We got quite a few episodes out. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of jank to it. I'm not blind or oblivious. I have seen that it has since gone full release on Steam. I haven't been avoiding it, to be perfectly honest. I've just been doing different things with the channel, and it just fell by the wayside. But I can see that it's had a rough launch. A lot of mixed reviews. It is in full release state. Apparently, a lot of the bugs and that I did actually flag in my look at the previous version have kind of carried over. So I guess I called it. It's a bit of a shame though, because like I said, I'm not a programmer. I'm a consumer of games. There was a hope that maybe some of this stuff could be ironed out and they were just errant bugs, but it would seem, you know, upon further contact with the wider community, there is a lot of issues with this game. So we're going to have another look anyway at the full release version. It would seem that I don't have a save. I checked and it didn't survive the update, which often happens with these sort of builds. So I have to start fresh anyway. So we'll have a look. So look, like I said, take it all with a grain of salt. It would seem that it's kind of the same as what I was playing, which, to be perfectly honest, is a charming, very janky, very buggy, had a lot of crashes, but I still had fun. You can't take that away. Like, I think it was a lot of fun when I was playing it, but it seems like apparently this current full release public build has the same issues. So we'll see going in what it's all about. So I guess, you know, just be aware of that from the top. So the Proving Grounds tutorial. Can I play a rival? Now, what's this tutorial mode? It's a little vague, don't you think? Like, why do we have tutorial mode ticked when that's the tutorial? I think let's turn tutorial mode off. So we've got the episodes, a DLC one apparently. Okay, cool. Signal, Menace, Scrap Metal. Okay. So maybe we'll be able to skip a big chunk of the tutorialization.
Earth, the cradle of humanity.
Yeah.
Our common home. You gave us life, food, and technology.
Yeah.
We have grown. We have built shining cities to the heavens. We have risen up to great heights and fallen down to the depths.
Oh, no good.
And we have traversed the path of war and suffering. Now, all this can disappear, turn to dust.
Jeez, that's a bit...
Disaster struck us 14 years ago.
Oh no.
Space seemed to be turned inside out. A huge, luminous funnel appeared near the moon. It grew rapidly, turning into a giant whirlpool. It was a wormhole. It radiated with the strongest gravity.
Okay.
Huge chunks began to break off from the moon. They slowly floated through space and disappeared in the center of the funnel. The moon lost some of its mass. A wave of cataclysms passed over the entire surface of the Earth. Giant waves flooded many coastal cities. Sleeping volcanoes awakened, and earthquakes began. The gravity of the wormhole partially compensated for the loss of the moon's mass, and everything gradually subsided.
Right.
But the damage was incredible. Cities lay in ruins. The economies of entire countries were destroyed. As we began to heal wounds and rebuild our cities, humanity gradually came to its senses.
Sure.
We began to research the wormhole and learned a lot.
Yeah.
But along with the
learned a lot.
knowledge came the terrible truth. Over time, the moon will be destroyed, and with it, life on Earth will disappear. Soon, dozens of automatic ships and satellites were sent into the wormhole. The best minds of mankind studied the data for months on end, and suddenly it turned out that this was a door to another world, to a world at the other end of the galaxy.
Yeah, right.
Yes, it was hope. To find a new home, start all over again. Who knows what awaited us there? beyond.
Who knows?
Maybe this is a chance to become more than we are, a chance to get answers to our eternal
Become
questions.
more than we
Who
are,
we,
okay?
and where do we come from? And so we built a fleet, a great fleet, with millions of tons of metal shining in the sun, and 2,000 hearts on board. We entered the wormhole and traveled through space. We were ready for what was next.
Okay. Is that a... Right. Now, I beat the drum about bad writing in gaming. It just seems to attract a certain terrible writing, but not this. This is... Let's not beat around the bush. That was written like if I was writing it for an English essay in mid-high school or something like that, right? Now, I apologize to the writers, but I think at the same time, it's probably a guy like me, a more sort of engineering minded, more that sort of leaning, probably a game programmer. That's the sort of dude that wrote that. He's like, I need a story. I have no background in story writing. Here's a lot of platitudes, really just basic information, bloody, wormhole go boom, moon go blah, now let's go through the wormhole. It basically set the game up perfectly fine. The writing was really basic. Like, science was good and we learnt lots of stuff. And it's like, well, it's not great writing, but it gets the job done and it gets us started on the game. And to be perfectly honest, I will take that kind of bad writing 9 times out of 10 over the normal bad writing they talk about, where it is clearly someone who's likes the smell of their own farts and they're trying to bloody change the world with their crappy story and deal with lofty concepts, but they're actually a crap writer and they don't realize it. That's what so many games these days in their writing is. It's just terrible banter. It's a bad writer that doesn't realize they're a bad writer. I'd be willing to bet that the guy that wrote that probably knows it's not great writing. So that's the difference. I think there's self-awareness. I don't think it was done to be funny, but it was done to be serviceable. The guy knows he's not going to win a bloody award for his writing. So I thought I'd just mention that. But the voice acting, a bit rough, and it was always rough. I'm assuming they're going to have the same voice actors that they had last time, and I'll tell you what, I find it charming, but it's rugged. Some of it was really more miss than hit.
Oh my God, you're alive.
Oh my
I
God.
thought that there was nobody left.
Yeah.
How many of you have survived? Is anyone injured?
There's 4 of us left. Everything's
Seems
okay.
There's nothing left of the Hagrids.
Now,
only a small group survived.
Now the thing is, I don't necessarily want to go through all this again.
A small part.
Like I said, it's not going to break the bank on my grey matter. It's not going to, it's not going to change the way I look at my life with the complexity of its story. We've done this before. You can go and check out the previous episodes if you're really that worried, right? Here we go. Build a small life support. Okay. This is going to be pretty basic stuff. We're going to be retreading old ground. Look, the UI, everything looks exactly the same. I guess, we got some happiness stuff going on here. I just got to remember how to bloody play. I don't suppose I can press B for a shortcut. I can't. All right. Small life support. All right, let's do that. Right. Now, that was one of the things I realized is that, hold to build. I think that's new. Build solar panels. Okay. Can I use Q&E? I can. The mouse drag feels back to front, if that makes sense. There might be a way to invert it in the controls. But, okay, right, so I have to hold that down. Okay. Interesting. That's different. It's definitely different. Well, maybe I'm misremembering. Build a hangar, all right. Things can be launched. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I was doing most recently when I was playing it. Was essentially building off of...
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's the way. Install battery device. Device manager. Let's put a battery in there. Yeah, okay. I don't know how I feel about that, but so it goes. Put an ELD. Alright. Install a probe launcher. Now, that'll have to go in this other room here.
Okay, I've just completed the module assembly.
Good work, mate. So I guess I just wait for them to get built. I do have speed, and I can use 1 to 3 for the speed, so that's cool. Can't pause with space bar, which is... That's right, we'll work with that. We'll work with that. Okay, probe launcher. This modular design I will always have time for. It's so pretty. It's so lovely. Alright, let's speed that up.
Finished with the assembly and ready to proceed.
I'll let you build both of those. Now we'll start rigging it up. So there's this connection mode, which is sort of kind of the heart of this game's systems. Power, we're gonna drag. No, we start with the battery. Like that. Alright. Now we rig that in. Okay, that's our power tab. I don't suppose I can like tab cycle or anything. No, I do have to click through. We're gonna want to put life support in that room, the probe launcher, because people will need to man it. So we'll go heat and O2, and that's what that machine does. Water, logistics, I believe it needs, and this probably needs logistics as well. I don't think this does, no. But power, we're gonna need to power him as well. That should be it, right? That should be all the connections. Henry, what's going on? Okay, cool, that's nice that I can flick his
Our situation isn't good.
No, it's not great. La 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 la. Again, I'm not trying to be belligerent. We have seen these before in a previous video. All right, examine resources from debris. Well, we just go here and we probe mode auto. Okay, well, it should already just be going. One of my blokes will drive the probe. There we go. Look, bloody Andrew's on the job. And Kevin are just staring at him while he does stuff. So that's cool. Secret scan results. Okay, right. At this point, like, there we go. Let's just, okay, I guess we just run the probe machine. What are you doing over here, mate? Sitting down, touching buttons. But these modular buildings are just beautiful. They tick such a box for me. I'm sure I'm not alone, you know. This is cool. Power in, power out. That is changed. I'd be curious if that was at launch or if that's responded to it, because understanding how power worked was a big... It's so vague. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy that, you know, even that is trying to be almost like an in-universe, really interesting UI sort of UX thing. I like that. I do like when a game tries to, you know, the menus are part of the game, or the classic example is like Dead Space with the dude pulling up the cutscenes on his wrist computer or his health bar on his back. I like it when a game tries its best to integrate that sort of stuff directly into the actual game. But the previous power system was obtuse. This is actually pretty good because I can sort of inspect it and figure out what's going on. Now it looks like they're not drawing power. So you can see it went to 0 and 10. That's fine. Okay, that's good. I like that. That system's a lot better than what it was when I last looked at this.
It looks like there are plenty of useful resources.
It was one of those things, I wasn't far along in the game, so it wasn't enough to annoy me that I couldn't min-max the power throughput, but I could see that by the time you get to a larger mission, it would be infuriating. I can understand that. Okay, now what are we doing? Build medbay module, right? So, and look, as best I understand it, like I said, the story is serviceable. It's to get us from point A to point B. We've attempted to go through the wormhole to go to the other side. That planet there doesn't look like Earth to me. So we've gone through, there's been dramas, our ships have all been busted up, so we're trying to just build out of the wreckage as best we can. because as I understand it, because I didn't go all the way through the campaign, but from what I did get through, we're like sort of ship one in an almost convoy. So we're trying to not just survive, we're desperately trying to get a message back to warn the dudes behind us. And I actually remember sort of ranting about this a little bit, being that build docking bay module. Oh, hang on. Being that hang on. Docking bay. Now the docking bay is going to take up a bit of space. Maybe I can do it off of the oh, here we go. You know what? Maybe I'm going to... Can I cancel that? No, that's a mistake. I would have liked to have put the docking bay there, but that's all right. But I kind of appreciate that...
Ready for my next task.
Like, it's not overtly addressed, but the way that they prioritize is like, it could well be that we are all to a man doomed to die. Like, our ships are busted up, it was a one-way ticket, but the priority isn't to sit there and go, oh, we're gonna die. The priority is our brothers behind us in the next ship need to be warned to pump the brakes and not come through, or they'll die. And I appreciate that sort of sentiment. It's not like the game's going to necessarily dive super deep into that idea, but it sort of is presented as, don't overthink it, we've got a job to do, which I can appreciate that sort of position. So spacebar centers me.
Waiting for your orders.
Install a medical station device. Okay, medicine. Let's get the little doodacky going. Now we're probably going to need to power that. So let's put an ELD. All right, there we go, boys. All right. So these other buildings, like this maintenance building, no one's. Oh my god, one at a time on the comms, please. People aren't going to need to use those areas, so there's no need for me to rig them up. Do you need logistics? Do you come with the car? Yes, logistics, power, and then power, heat, oxygen. There we go, laughing. Henry Hogman.
Are you ready for us to send over our injured crew?
I am, send them over.
There is a medic.
Fantastic, so they're sending a medic. No logistics, I thought I rigged that up. Okay, my bad. Send the little O2 bottles. All right, docking bay reserved. Here they come, broom, broom, broom. The other ship that we're trying to, it's sort of stuck out here with us. Beep, 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 beep. Unloading. Look at them go. I kind of love these goober animations. Ah, my legs hurt. Like I said, this is jank, but to be honest, it's going to be at the sort of mercy of the consumer. I find it charming, to be honest. I should probably start taking the cost of games into consideration more. I saw that this is only like $30 Australian, right? Which, for perspective, a Resident Evil 8 sort of AAA game can be anywhere up to 90 to 100 Australian, right? So this is underneath a third of a full price game, right? I don't usually do value proposition, but I had to think about it because people were bashing it for being mixed and all that. But there is some truth. Like, I don't care how big your studio is, whether it's 1 man or 100 men or whatever, like, that actually doesn't faze me so much. I don't like the idea of saying giving a dude a pass because it's one dude in his garage. What I'm happy to talk around, though, is the value that they're asking for their product. If you're a 1-man first-time developer making a game that's average, you better not be asking $90, right? if you ask a reasonable price, which is, I think, 30, you know, for a smaller sort of project, then I actually will give way more leeway. So I don't really like the give them a pass because it's a small studio. It's yeah, I've seen small studios ask a disgusting amount of money. I'll give them a pass based on the relative value proposition within the market. Whether or not you agree that that amount is right, well, that's going to come down to a personal financial value assumption or analysis. I guess we're just going to wait for these guys to get treated, right? That I'm not here to pass judgment because the mighty dollar is worth different things to different people, right? Some people, whether they could be stingy or they could actually not have the financial means. It is a game, obviously. But maybe buying a $30 game once every 6 months is your budget. Again, I don't want to get into that, but I will start being more gentle on games or harsh on them based around how much they think is reasonable or delusional to ask for their game. So this is $30, right? Even so far, just playing this again, it's clear that the developer has tightened up a lot of UI elements, a lot of, like, even the build thing compared to when I played the earlier build. Also, I said this when I played it earlier, they didn't give me an embargo or anything like that, but they gave me an early pre-release build weeks in advance, right? And you get plus points in my column for having the balls to put your product out there, warts and all, as opposed to trying to engineer an embargo and stop people from putting out reviews or first looks or whatever. You know, let's not beat around the bush. A lot of embargoes these days are so that the common person that doesn't have access buys the game before they realize it's shit, right? So I have a lot of time for people that don't embargo, you know, and they just put it out warts and all. So good for them. So this game gets a bonus there. It gets a bonus for the fact that they've patched some stuff. Right? It's always going to have jank, it's always going to be a bit weird, and it's only $30 Australian. So, like, my take so far, even if it still has some bugs in it, is this is a cool game, and I think it's totally reasonable to ask, like it's totally in the right price bracket for what it is. Does that make sense?
Thank God.
I don't think they're asking an unreasonable amount of money for it compared to its, you know, peers in industry and the way it's been put across. So I might start making a little bit more of a value assessment based on that. And then from there, like, you might personally be like, well, I think it's too much, but that's fine. That's why we have wish lists and sales and the sales culture. You know, you'll buy this game when you feel good and ready for it. Dismount all devices. Dismount all modules. I remember this. It's weird. It's definitely fiddly, but it's pseudo tutorial, like teaching me how this works. Like, I get that. Can I actually dismount the building while it's got things in it? You must remove all devices. Okay.
This one's ready. Lots of room and space.
Anyway, a little bit of a tangent, but I'm want to rant. It's a lot of people, if you ever catch my streams, they absolutely love tricking me into ranting.
Fully disassembled.
What's
Waiting
next?
for new orders. This one's ready.
All their
Lots of
idle
room and
animations are,
space.
so they're more zombie than human.
This one's ready. Lots of room and space.
Oh, okay, so they are patched up. It looks like they've got like little medical buffs over their heads, even though they're busted. So they're still limping around in that, but they must be on the mend as well.
This one's ready. Lots of room and space.
Lots of room in space. That's right, love.
Module dismount completed.
Module disassembled. On my way to the next task.
Anyway, yeah.
Module dismount completed.
But look, if the bugs do exist, because obviously I'm not doing this on launch day, so there's probably some patches. Now, look, if the bugs do exist, that's not great, okay? I'll never run interference for bugs or anything like that. It does seem that the developer has tried to clean up some stuff, so, you know, that's worth mentioning.
Just finished.
But I hope that's not misconstrued. I'm never gonna run hard interference for a broken mess of a game. I guess my main thing about the price point is that it seems to be a reasonable price point for what this product is.
Excellent. Looks like we are ready to tow. We found a safe place to assemble a new station.
Yeah, good.
The wormhole will be in direct line of sight, and there will be no problems with communication.
He's still talking. Okay, nice. Oh man. All right. Well, we'll get in there and we'll make sure we've saved it. So I am a couple of missions deep, or I was scrap metal. Okay, so maybe I finished the whole first act, because this was one of the chapters we could select before, but it was locked, you know. What's going on here? Oh, yeah.
This is Adele. Adele
My
Ashmore.
face is tired.
Do you remember me?
Yeah, her voice,
met.
this chick's
Simple.
voice, the other dude's voice acting wasn't so bad, but this
Just
chick
found the
is... Okay, bit av. What's going on with my camera? Like, I locked my camera there? Oh, I don't know what to tell you. Alright, cool. Alright, I should be able to save from here. Fantastic. Yeah, look, I really like this game. It's got a charm. It's got a jank. Alright? So far, so good. Looking at it now, maybe they have actually cleaned up a lot of those initial bugs and issues. It will be seen, right? I think top marks for its design and its aesthetic. These modular little designs are absolutely fantastic. I think they're really cool. And the logic sort of connection system on the back end is interesting and original, but I can already sort of say that, like, if this base starts to get really big, this shit is probably going to get more fiddly than fun, but I can't pass judgment on that because it keeps giving me these restartable bases. I feel like every scenario is a new base, and they're probably going to get bigger as we go along. But until I get those larger projects, I can't truly tell you how good or bad that logistics system is. But my inkling is it's going to become a bit like pulling teeth at the larger sort of scale. Anyway, it's cool to be playing this again. I like this game a lot, you know? Mixed reviews be damned. Well, having said that, no, I'm going to walk that one back. I think the mixed reviews are absolutely warranted for the points that were raised from what I was skimming through there. So look, if you don't like this and you had an unpleasant time with it, I absolutely understand that for sure. But me personally, I kind of dig this game. So I'm looking forward to potentially playing more if people want to see that. All right, team, we might just leave it there for the time being, and I will catch you guys on the next one.